Thank you so much, Maya. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Eriko from Regulatory Support Office. So I work with Resija Nambia to support clinicaltrial.gov reporting. So last month, we finished How To series on ct.gov. So we want to start new series, which is Q&A series starting this month. So, but before that, I want to give you some important updates on ct.gov navigation systems known as a Protocol Registration System, or PRS. So since 2020, clinicaltrial.gov modernization efforts have been done by NIH National Library of Medicine. And one of their mission is to improve both clinicaltrial.gov public website and PRS website, so which is the registration website, to continue to deliver maximum value to investigators and users in whole world well into the future. So since February this year, beta site is available for testing in parallel to existing ct.gov registration website. Some of you probably may have noticed. So goal of beta site is to add more user-friendly features to beta site. And then eventually the beta site will transition into becoming the main site, and the current site will be retired. So according to NIH, so this is happening over the timeline of this modernization effort. So we still have a couple of years until we completely transition to a new website. So I just want to give you a heads up that retirement of current website is coming our way, and then we will be preparing some guidance documents once it's completely transitioned. So here is the key facts and features of beta website. So again, the idea is that you will continue to log into the current system just as you normally have, and then you will be introduced to new user interface where you can play around on the right. So again, new beta site includes ability to do more actions directly from the record list. So some of these features are pretty handy for those of you maintaining and assisting multiple ct.gov records for multiple PIs. So if you have any feedback about this beta site, NIH really strongly encourage investigators to provide them feedback, which you can directly do from beta site by clicking this give feedback on the green button. So that will be update. So now I'm going to pass over to Resija to talk about most frequently asked questions during registration. Resija?
Yeah, thank you, Eriko. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Resija Nambia, and today, to start off this series, I'll be talking on the most common Q&A that we come across for registration. So let's get started. So the first question is, how long will it take to register a study in ct.gov? So NIH estimates up to 10 hours depending on the complexity of the study and the number of outcome measures. But for an average, it usually takes approximately 2 hours unless you have something like 40 outcome measures to be reported. The other corresponding question that comes up is, how long is the ct.gov registration review? Or how long does it take for ct.gov review staff to review the registration application? And when will the NCT number be assigned? So their turnaround is pretty good. It takes up approximately 2 to 5 days, business days after record is released. And if there are no stipulations, you will obtain the NCT number within this time frame. Next, coming to who should submit the study. So the regulation requires responsible party to register and submit results for applicable clinical trials of drugs and devices. Then how to determine who is a responsible party for a study. Responsible party is defined as an individual who is responsible for conducting the trial, has access to and control over the data from the clinical trial, has the right to publish results of the trial, and has the ability to meet all requirements. For industry-sponsored study, sponsor is the responsible party unless it is designated to the PI. For PI-initiated clinical trial, the PI is the responsible party. There is an exception. Not all PIs in IRB application are responsible parties sometimes. For example, for a study conducted under IND-IDE, regulation requires sponsor investigator, which is the IND or IDE holder, to register and submit results in ct.gov. Sometimes in ERB, the PI is not the sponsor investigator and the IND holder is listed as a COI. In this case, this COI is the responsible party. Another example that we come across is medical students, residents, or fellows doing the research, and they may be listed as PI in the IRB application. So faculty sponsor is required for those studies, and faculty sponsor may fit the ct.gov definition of responsible party. Then the faculty sponsor is a responsible party, and they are the one to submit the study and to be listed as a responsible party in ct.gov. The next common question that we always come across is, I want to list my PI as a responsible party, but I can't find my PI in the drop-down list. So how to resolve this? For this, the PI must have a ct.gov PRS account in order to be listed as a responsible party. Please contact our ct.gov support office at this email address shown on the screen, and we can help create the PRS account for the PI. Once the account is created, the PI's name will show up in the drop-down list within the responsible party section in the record. Next is, when should ct.gov registration be done? So we recommend investigators to initiate ct.gov registration before the ERB study submission, because NCT number is required for study activation. As per UT Southwestern policy, for those studies that require ct.gov registration, such as NIH-funded clinical trials and FDA-regulated clinical trial known as applicable clinical trial, study activation or the green light will be held up until the ct.gov registration is completed or the NCT number is received. And if your PI plans to publish study results in the journal requires ct.gov registration before the first patient is enrolled. And journal editor will be verifying the study registration date in the public website. So this timeline shows the ERB study activities and ct.gov reporting timeline from the perspective of the study team and investigators for your reference. I want to also emphasize that timing of both IRB and ct.gov activities are almost in parallel. So any time you make actions in ERB, you should think about ct.gov reporting activities as well. This is the last question for today's session. That is, where can I seek help to register my study? So you can email our ct.gov support team or schedule a consultation meeting via Teams bookings. The link to book meeting and step-by-step registration guidance document are available on our website. You can also directly email your questions to the ct.gov PRS staff when you are in your record. The link for this is at the top right corner of the record, or you can also send an email requesting a phone consultation with the ct.gov reviewer if necessary. We will be continuing with this series next month, and we will discuss the Q&A for record updates. Thank you all for listening to me, and I'll now hand it over to Eriko to go over the metrics. Eriko?
Thanks so much, Rosita. So we are back in business. So we have 100% compliance in March, according to FEDA Non-Compliance Trial Tracker website. So once again, so this is a public information. So this compliance rate, so its proportion reflects academic institutions' compliance to the federal regulation. And each non-compliance would hurt UT Southwestern's reputation as a whole. Please keep in mind that UT Southwestern leaderships are reviewing this non-compliance website every month. So it is very, very, very important that we continue to stay in compliance. And so this shows overall real-time compliance for all UT Southwestern records. So again, blue indicates total number of records registered by UT Southwestern investigators. Green indicates record without any issues. So those are good ones. And then orange and red are the bad one. We're doing pretty good overall. So thank you all for your hard work. And so this is sponsor investigator support metrics for March. We start showing this since last research matter. So I'm not going into detail. So this is just for your reference. So once again, Regulatory Support Office provides CT.gov support, and we also provide IND, IDE, expanded access application support for UT Southwestern investigator. So if you want to learn more about our sponsor investigator support program, so here's a brief summary, and please visit our renewed website. So for CT.gov support related question, please send us email using this link and then maybe book a consultation with us. And so here's a selected list of resource for your reference. And the contact information for sponsor investigator, IND ID, expanded access related questions. And a selected resource for IND ID. So this concludes our presentation from Regulatory Support Office. Thank you so much. I will turn over to Kimberly and Hend. Thank you.
Thank you, Eriko. Good afternoon.